Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jose. Welcome back to episode 8 of the single player Let's Play. I think it's about time we get started with some cool stuff going with industrial craft, because I've mentioned in the past that I really would like to get some smelting going on with it, but in order to get anything nearly as complicated or advanced as I'd really like it to be, there's still a few things left on the agenda as far as just kind of general things left to do. It looks like since I've updated Immersive Engineering, it does look as though the one probe has updated quite a bit as far as its compatibility goes. So you can see it no longer says RF generically. It actually has an orange bar now, and it says 32K IF, which is 32,000 immersive flux. And as I've explained on Reddit in the past, it's basically, immersive flux is essentially the immersive engineering branch of Redstone Flux, which is compatible with Redstone Flux. So it's pretty neat stuff. As you can see, I have a ton of dusts here that are ready to get processed, and I don't necessarily want to do that by smelting, because that's gonna suck. So what I would like to do instead, I want to go ahead and get a few chests together here. I'll just go and do dark oak. I'm not really crazy for them, and actually these two can come with me, and so can that. Just kind of cleaning up my inventory a little bit because I was cutting down lots of trees earlier. I'm trying to level up my cobalt lumber axe just a little bit more because I would like to use like to gain a modifier to slap mending on it. But I'm kind of caught in a bit of a struggle there. I also made one of these dark oak piles. I don't really know what they're good for though. They don't seem to be good for any sort of like temporary storage because it doesn't look like they can be uncrafted, so I'm not necessarily sure. They also can't be used as a wood fuel, so if you have any clue, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm probably just gonna see, and they don't even rotate, so what fun is that? Yeah, I'll probably just let that despawn. It's only 4 pieces of wood that I'm losing, not a big deal. I just crafted one out of boredom anyways. So, I should be getting into some industrial craft, and so in order to do so, I'm going to greatly benefit from probably some more iron, but I'm hoping that this will be enough. I think I can make this work. I have some redstone. We're going to need some copper and tin. And we're obviously going to need some rubber. Which chest do I put my rubber in? There it is. So the rubber, I've been tapping the trees from my rubber trees over here. And so I've actually got a little bit of rubber, not a real whole lot, but enough. And so it's actually relatively easy to get going with some of that stuff because I've set up a farm. So I'm going to move... Oh, I had more rubber in there too. Cool. I'm going to move these furnaces just kind of off to the side for now. We'll put them there for now. Because I'm not sure if I'm going to need them again. And in fact, I would really prefer that as well. So, I should get together some glass as well. And I don't know what else I might need, so we'll just play it by ear. So, I'm probably going to designate this crafting table as the crafting table that I use for my industrial craft stuff. Why not? So to get started, we're going to need to do some crafting here. We're going to need to make a forge hammer. From the forge hammer, we can craft some iron plates, and I'm going to use the iron plates to make a pair of cutters. I'm going to need both of these. I'm going to need the cutters and the forge hammer to get what I need. So I'm going to start off with the generator. We're just going to start off with a basic one for now. I'm trying to think of some really cool ideas of power generation, but I can't think of any that are particularly unique. So if you have any suggestions, please, please, please leave them. I will gladly take anything that you have to suggest, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would be unique other than just windmills, which they're fine, they're just not automatable, so I'm not particularly a huge fan. So this is why I'm a huge fan of using the work table for IC2, is if you watch, it's actually very easy to make a lot of different things. Now this is the iron furnace. If you don't know how it works, it basically works like a normal vanilla furnace. It's just a little bit faster. Slightly more fuel efficient. Nothing really beyond that. Now I also need to make a few tin wires, so we're going to teach, whoops, we're going to teach our little table here, iron plate, tin plate. We can go ahead and teach it tin cable, and that'll get us an achievement, of course. And we're going to need an insulated tin cable, as well as, I don't know why I did that, I could have just clicked on it. We're going to need 4 tin item casings. Now don't ask me how I have this recipe memorized, I just do. Kind of bizarre. But this will get us a re-battery, which is, re stands for rechargeable. And so that'll be used in the creation of a generator. So now all that's left is 3 more iron plates. And we will be good to go. In fact, I can just do this. Excellent. So now we have a generator. Now it doesn't actually do us a whole lot of good. And in fact, I'm going to kind of do a few things aside from making just a generator. I want to go ahead and make a bat box. Now a bat box is going to be a method of storing the power from a generator into just kind of more long-term storage, and they're not terribly difficult to make, so I kind of feel like it'd be a bit foolish not to make this. So we're going to need 3 more batteries and then another insulated cable for that, so we'll be good there. That's 1 battery, 2 batteries, 3 batteries, and then there's our actual batteries themselves. And now if we do this, I just need to grab some wooden planks and we should be good to go. There's our bat box. Excellent. So the way I generally like to do this, and I'm thinking furnace, compressor, extractor. I don't need a macerator, and I don't think I'll need much of anything else, so we will put these here for now. And the way I generally like to have this set up is using copper cables. So what we can do is we can go ahead, and I will teach this recipe as well. That's actually a really useful one. We can go ahead and make a few copper cables just by doing this right here. And in fact, I just remembered another machine that I might want to make later. So we'll have 4 lines of cables, and then what we can do is have our bat box there and our generator right on top. I'm thinking that's a good idea. So beyond that, we're also going to need some machines, because this is essentially just our power generation infrastructure. As you guys are probably well aware at this point, I really like having power set up before I kind of get on to using machines. I don't necessarily like to use machines before I've got enough power to run them at full speed. That's just kind of a thing of mine. We'll grab another few copper cables, actually. And I'm going to save that recipe because that recipe is surprisingly used quite a lot. But we'll go and put down some cables, even though we don't have machines yet, because I'm planning on doing a furnace, followed by a compressor, extractor, a rolling machine, no, not rolling machine, what is it called? It's called a metal former. And then after the metal former, I'm thinking we might have a fluid solid canning machine. So there's our 5 machines. And then we will power them all right now off of this generator. In the future, I'm hoping to have some obviously much more advanced and compelling power generation. So let's get started with just a I guess we should go and do the electric furnace. So the electric furnace actually is not that difficult to make, and this is kind of the one thing that I'm really quite looking forward to making, is something that'll let me smelt without having to constantly use power, or rather coal. So of course at this stage I kind of am still going to be using coal, but not nearly as much as you might imagine. So we're going to go ahead and need, let me see, I think 3 of these, because we need 6 of these. And I just do this recipe in my inventory, it's generally quicker. And then we also need another one of these because we need to make an electronic circuit. This recipe I will also save. And then with that we have our electric furnace. Pretty great. So now if I grabbed some coal coke, we probably won't even need but maybe 8 pieces to fill up a bat box. If I grab coal coke, you'll see right now the energy is empty, 0 of 600 EU, but if I put some coal coke in there, you'll see that fill up very quickly, and now we can do stuff such as smelt our iron. And you'll notice this is pretty quick, and it actually can go even quicker. But I'd say this is a really great start just to get, you know, a little bit of something going. And you can tell that this fuel is burning very, very slowly, which is good. And we're getting quite a good bit of EU here. So, like I said, I don't normally actually do a whole lot with IC2 for several reasons, but between the fact that the resource pack that I'm using has added much nicer textures to it, and the fact that I've kind of had a sense of nostalgia for it here lately, I figured why not go ahead and get started, even though it has changed kind of beyond my liking. I can tolerate it, though. So, I want to grab 4, 5, 6... I can do the math already and tell you that I'm going to want 4 more electronic circuits. At least. So we'll go ahead and grab those, because we're going to need them. Because I know compressor, and we're going to do extractor, or metal former, or canning machine. There we go. A little bit easier. There's the DNA extractor, so that doesn't really help, but that's fine. So the extractor is not going to be that very difficult to make. In fact, we're just going to need to get about 32, no, what am I thinking, 16. We'll grab 16 of these iron plates, make 2 basic machine casings, because the recipes for the extractor and for the compressor are actually very simple. I simply need a little bit more stone, which is fine. We can smelt a piece pretty quickly. Whoops, I needed 2 pieces of stone. Ooh. There we are. And so if we take our stone, not really sure what happened there, we can get ourselves a compressor, as well as an extractor as soon as I get myself 4 tree taps. And so the extractor will help us get more rubber from our sticky resin. The compressor has its own list of recipes, which are very, very, very useful for, for further IC2 items. I did get just a little bit distracted there, I do apologize. I'm going to break this here just so that I can see the status of power here on the bat box, just to be sure. Okay, cool. And then we're going to still want a metal former, so that's looking slightly more tedious, although not really undoable. So the metal former, we're going to have these 2 still, so we're at least doing okay so far, but we also need these 2 toolboxes, and so we need 5 pieces of bronze, and I think the IC2, or rather, yeah, this bronze recipe was enabled. Good, good, good. I don't believe you're going to ore dictionary that chest, are you? No, you're not. And that's taking an oak chest specifically? Okay. No big deal, I just want to make sure I'm using the right recipe for sure. So we will go ahead and get ourselves an oak chest. We'll need 2 of them. And we'll need 2 bronze item casings, so we'll need 5 bronze plate, 5 bronze plate times 2 for 10 item casings, and 2 oak chests gets us our 2 toolboxes. Now toolboxes are pretty cool. They do exactly what you would think. They hold some of the IC2 tools. I think it's just IC2 tools. I don't think it's any tool in general. But that's okay. There's a few other IC2 things that I need to get around to making soon. But until then, you can see the this furnace setup is working out pretty nicely, in my opinion. So, running back to the metal former, it also required 3 coils, so that's going to be, let's see, 24 of these, so I need 12, no, not bronze, copper, 12 copper plate, and that'll give me 24, and then there's just a matter of that, and I believe our metal former is ready. Yes, there we go. So there's our metal former, and this one is going to be very useful because some recipes, especially in extruding mode, are a lot more conservative, so I don't have to continue to use the forge hammer and the cutter if I don't want to, especially for making things like copper cable. It can be very, very, very time-saving. An example is, or rather resource-saving as well. You actually get more resources out of it. But I'm going to use this for rolling, and if I just put this in here, you'll see it's going to start rolling these down, and what it's going to do is make me some plates. I'm going to grab 16 coal coke this time. But here you can see it's making me iron plates. Now, I actually don't mind making iron plates over here. And now, our fluid solid canning machine is going to require some tin item casings. And there we are, fluid solid canning machine. And the fluid solid canning machine will be used to make us some overclocker upgrades, which will make all of our machines quicker. But there's a huge caveat here. There's no purpose in doing any of that unless we have more energy, because right now we're making all of our energy with a non-renewable supply of items, which is essentially not good. So the bigger, better plan would be to actually make a few solar panels, maybe, or something to supplement our power in some variety other than just this generator. So we can take a look at our options. There's the kinetic wind generator, or kinetic generator, and then, let's see, kinetic generator. So this will be an iron shaft electric motor or generator, and then this will actually be with a wind turbine. And the wind turbine is not that expensive either. But the downside is you're also going to need a turbine. What is it, a rotor actually? Or is it just blade? Oops. I don't actually remember what it's called. Here we go, rotor. So these kinetic gearbox rotors are kind of variable. So if we do, if we go into debug mode to see the damage values, you can actually see that these have a max durability, and that wears down over time. So of course the carbon is the best one at 604,800 durability, and you have the same thing here where you have 1,700 or 172,800, then 86,400 for iron, and wood has 10,800. That being said, they're still pretty useful as far as using them in early game power creation, but I would like to come up with something a little more renewable than that even. So I'm not really sure what my solar panel options are, to be completely honest. Oh, wow, the solar helmet has a neat looking texture. The solar panel itself, each one of these produces only 1 EU per tick. Each one will of course only work in the daylight, and as you can tell, each one of these is going to consume an entire generator to run, or to be created, and 2 electronic circuits. So they get pretty expensive here, as you can probably imagine. There are ways to condense these into more energy producing alternatives, but those are also relatively tedious to craft, because this low voltage will produce, here let me disable the tooltips again, this low voltage will produce 8 EU per tick because it uses 8 solar panels. The medium voltage produces 64 EU per tick because it uses 8 low voltages at 8 EU per tick, and then the high voltage produces 512 EU per tick because it uses 8 medium voltage at 64 RF per tick. So I'm gonna take just a minute to consider my options, maybe look into some things that I maybe had not considered, and see what I come up with as far as power generation, because surely I can come up with something that is not only kind of fun, relatively balanced, but also sustainable. So I'll see you guys in just a bit. Alright guys, so I took a break and I thought about it for just a minute, and I actually got a really interesting and fun idea of how to produce power that is unlimited and potentially really, really good, but is also not dependent on any conditions such as weather, or time of day. Or lava even, because even on ForgeServe, if you watch that series at all, I frequently use lava as my crutch for EU, because I really just am quite lazy as far as producing it. I guess my problem is making infinite sources of EU is not really particularly easy unless you go the solar panel route, and I am not and never will be and never have been a fan of nukes. Nuclear reactors just are not my thing. They're more effort than I wish to invest, especially since the experimental updates added the entire thermocentrifuge process. It's just been a whole heck of a lot of nope from me. So instead, what I've decided is it would be a very cool idea to alternatively make an Ender IO tree farm and use the wood from that tree farm specifically for the purpose of producing EU. The byproducts from it will probably end up getting tossed into a drawer. That way, if I need wood, it'll be there. But if you know anything about my Ender IO tree farms, you'll know that they are usually very good. They are sustainable, which is obviously not going to be a problem because we already have infinite power at a very, very healthy rate even. So we can use that to produce EU no problem. But the flip side is that we are also going to have to weigh our options as far as how do we want to handle storage. And there's a lot of stuff that's involved. So we're already looking at about 22 minutes at this point into the video. I'm guessing. So if I was really close to right, then you should be happy. But completely irrelevant to that, and I forgot to put this away, we're going to need to make, of course, a farming station, and we're going to need a crafter for that farming station. We're going to need to deliver power to that farming station in such a way that hopefully the trees won't eat the power. I've had issues where trees from farming stations will literally just consume an LV wire relay, and then, of course, my tree farm loses power. So that's no good, and we don't want that. We'll need to find a neat or clever way of working around that. And all of these things mean that I need to get into Ender IO. So the rest of this episode is going to be me doing some preparatory steps of getting ready for Ender IO, because a farming station is not something you can just make easy peasy. You're going to need steel from my recipe tweaks. You're going to need a Z-Logic controller, which means I need a zombie head. I don't know if I have a zombie head, so I may have to momentarily turn mob spawning back on, fight some mobs at night, and hope for a zombie head. I am going to need some pulsating crystals, which means I actually might already have that. Well, I've got a little bit. There's really quite a variety of preparation left to be done. So, I'd say let's go ahead and get started with the Ender IO shenanigans now. Get that over with, because it will be quite a lot of fun, to be honest. And then we can look into some of our more advanced options, possibly. So, to begin, I'm going to actually keep this dark oak chest around. I want to get some sort of little auto-smelting something or another there, but we'll get into that later. So we should go upstairs, and actually, before I do that, I want to grab another one of these wireless RF transmitters because I absolutely love them. They are completely awesome. I should really make a trash can because I don't want that andesite anymore. I never use andesite in my building, but I ran out of blocks for the floor when I originally built it, and so this was made. We want, for our farming station here, we're going to need Ender IO stuff. So we're going to need alloy smelter, and I think that's actually really it for the beginning. So we're going to need 3 iron furnaces, which, as luck has it, we were just crafting furnace related stuff not too long ago, and IC2 related stuff rather. So we'll do those. We will get these. There's our 3 iron furnaces. We also need a normal furnace. I'm not really sure why I've kept that recipe there, but I don't care. It's just a neat little recipe. I'm going to need 4 iron bars for the machine chassis, 2 steel, 2 iron ingots, and 4 more steel. Actually, I'm doing this in the completely wrong workstation. I like to do them over here. I'm going to leave a lot of this stuff in this inventory here, though, like a lot of these kind of temporary items that I don't generally use anywhere else except for inside of crafting recipes. Did I? Oh, I did forget something. I forgot the basic capacitor. Derp. 2 of you, 1 of you, and 4 of you. And that gets us our alloy smelter. Hooray! So I can use the alloy smelter for smelting. Yes, I know. I know I could have done other things, but I wanted a reason to get into IC2, because I never do. I literally never use IC2. So, sue me. I don't care. I'm doing whatever I please. We're going to go ahead and just plop down this alloy smelter, and we'll just let it hook up to the wireless RF transmitter here, because that's going to be very, very, very convenient. I'm thinking we'll just leave that in normal mode. That's fine with me. And so you're going to slowly fill up with RF. Perfect. So we are also going to need for a farming station, what else do we need? We need, I think, a slice and splice and anything else. It doesn't appear so. So let's just go ahead and get a slice and splice. Slice and splice. Perfect. And so that's going to require 5 solarium. I think I picked up soul sand in the nether. Yes, I did. Thank goodness. Was that normal dirt or trodden dirt? Okay, that's fine. So we're going to need 5 of those. And I forgot, I've actually got some of these capacitors. I don't know which ones work and which ones don't, but I have them. So capacitors are funny. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them work way better. So we're going to just have to experiment here. So bear with me. This is all part of the end of the episode here, so just kind of prepare yourself. So if we put this one in, max is 100 RF per tick. That's actually pretty great. This one did nothing. See? So it went from 20 to 20. So that's garbage. I'll throw it out. This one is 60 RF per tick. So it's a mid-tier. That one also does nothing. This one is 94 RF per tick. Okay, that's kind of strange. This one does nothing. This one does 167 RF per tick, so that's the best one so far. And this one also does nothing. So we have 4 nothing capacitors, 1 phenomenal, and the rest are actually still pretty good. I'm just going to put those there for now, and that doesn't work, huh? Dang. Well, we'll just do this. Like I said, I need to make a trash can. I know. So, now that we have our capacitor bank, or our capacitors figured out so that we know which ones we can definitely enjoy using, we'll go ahead and go for that. So it seems as though this is definitely not going to keep up, but I don't really care. And there we go. So that didn't take long at all. What else is required in our slice and splice? I really don't care for these decoration blocks, by the way. But I can't find a way to disable them, so I guess that's that. I've never wanted to decorate with them, so I guess I just don't get why someone would. I also forgot I need to make 2 pairs of shears and 2 axes. So, because you will need a pair to craft with and then a pair to put into the machine. Need another gold ingot for some nuggets, and I need 1 of you, 4 of you, 2 of you, 2 of you, and another 6 of you. Whoops, that was the wrong thing. So now I just need some form of head. And I really don't want to use the Enderman head. So I'm going to cut the video here. It's actually just turning nighttime, so I'm going to hunt some mobs. Yes, no, I'm going to hunt some mobs tonight in hopes of getting what I need, and I will be back in just a few minutes. Alright, so it's been a night. I went and slept. Now it's morning, and I have a zombie head. So, slice and splice acquired. Actually, here, let me clean up my inventory just a smidge. And we will go ahead and plop this down, call it an episode, and next episode I will have everything we need already put together, not put together, but prepared, rather, for us to put together and hopefully have a successful time. So we'll just toss the slice and splice down, give it the capacitor, and so that's got us in pretty good shape, I'd say. Very cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 8. I will be back in episode 9, where hopefully we can get ourselves some automated EU production so that I can finally smelt with more vigor than this kind of slow speed. So I'll see you guys next time.